he won't be able to join us, but we'll just go around and say who you are, and I guess we know where people are from, but maybe just say like the last thing you made with your hands. How about that? just as a little intro. Chris, you want to go first?
Sure. I'm Chris. I'm from Jamaica Plain in Boston. And the last thing I made with my hands was a big curry. Giant thing. You may have seen pictures.
It did. It was good. Was it delicious?
It was amazing. It was very random. I was just sort of cooking everything in what was left in the fridge and adding curry. So it was good.
Good curry. I feel like I'm always close, but not quite. The curry, do you use like a curry sauce or paste? Or?
Yeah, I use something called pataks. It's actually my secret ingredient. It's sort of like cheating. It's called P-A-T-A-K-S. You buy it in a jar, and it's just amazing every time.
I need the secret ingredient. That's good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
There's Mark. Mark, can you hear us? I see your audio is connected. Oh, but you're on mute.
He muted himself. Unmute Mark. No, he just
trying to unmute him, but.
All right, I'm gonna mute.
Can you hear me?
Yay! Yes. We just did.
Okay.
I'm not gonna unmute him. I'm just gonna let him unmute. So there we go. Hi, Mark.
Hi. Morning.
Good morning. We're just doing quick intro.
Yeah, early for me.
What's that?
5:30. My God, that's early for you.
Yeah. It's not that bad. We'd be opening with the pool. Jocelyn and I. Tracy's here. We were just going around the room and introducing ourselves on the last thing that we made with our hands. And Chris just went and he made a curry with his hands. Kate, what's the last thing you made with your hands?
I made a salad from some greens that we found on our walk near our house.
Wow. Yum.
Yeah, it was pretty groovy.
That's awesome. Tracy, what's the last thing you made with your hands?
Oh boy. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. I was doing a ton of cooking there for a while, and then I shifted into, oh crap, I've got a work deadline and too many cases. So I haven't been cooking as much in the last few days. My daughter and I went out and made some hoed up grass, play with the worms, get ready to try to put some wildflowers in out in our front yard. I'm gonna count that. That was what, Maya, a day or two ago.
Yeah, cool.
So.
Danielle, what have you made with your hands lately?
Most of the stuff I make is on the computer, which I guess isn't really my hands.
Well,
but
yeah. I mean,
I created some layouts for a warehouse for some robots to move around in, and I base it off. We have a client that is trying to roll out our robots. They're in the Netherlands, and everything in the Netherlands apparently is really, really compact. And there's literally not enough width to the aisles to get a human operator next to a robot, which is a safety requirement for European Safety Commission standards. So like if you can't squeeze an average size human being to egress in case of emergency around your robot, like you can't. So been dealing with that and like all of the itty-bitty spaces and trying to design that, but it's not really my hands as much as it is my...
Your mind's connected to your computer through your hands. We'll count it.
Sure, okay.
Mark, what's the last thing you made with your hands?
Just peeling back the cellophane, stirring the frozen food in between microwave settings count.
Sure.
Because that's it. I haven't cooked a meal since 1984.
That's a good run. You got to hold on to that.
I plan on it.
That's good. What about you, Jocelyn? What's the last thing you made with your hands? Uh-oh, you're on mute. Jocelyn, I'm going to unmute you.
Unmute me. There.
I unmuted you. I can hear you now. Oh, no.
Probably did last night. Used up a bunch of kale in the fridge. Conrad, my 16-year-old made a kale salad that didn't really turn out the night before. It wasn't so good. So I cooked it up with garlic and ginger and all sorts of other stuff, and it was delicious. Threw a little curry in it. Yeah,
Nice.
probably food.
Food, yeah.
I don't knit, and I don't have time to learn because I'm still going to work. So it's interesting seeing all these people saying, "Oh my God, you have so much time. You should be doing all this stuff." Well, no, some of us still work.
You have three kids at home now.
Yeah.
Which you didn't have before.
Yeah. Although they're very self-sufficient.
Yeah, but they're still, I mean,
yeah,
you're probably hanging out with them a little bit if you're not working.
Kind of.
Cool. Thanks for coming, everybody. I guess I should do the same since I asked the question. I'll mention that we started a sourdough starter just in the what if we run out of yeast? And with the discard, we started making these crackers, but they're almost like shortbread because you accidentally put in too much butter, and then what if you put in like this? So anyway, we've been devouring sourdough crackers every day because we always have to discard half of your starter. And anyway, it's been fun, but Noah and I were deciding we're going through more flour. Like it's not, it's just more food.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the way that we should be spending our time, but or using our hands. There's lots of other ways. We have a new swing set in to build. That'll be the next thing we'll be doing with our hands. Since the kids can't go to the park, we're gonna build a swing set in the backyard. All right, well, let's get started talking to Kate today. She's our special guest.
I wore a special shirt for you guys. I don't know if you can see.
I don't know if I can see either.
Aww.
Aww. Look at that. The mermaids.
All the mer people.
Thank you.
Oh, they're mermen. They're not mer people.
Oh, no? Mermen, just mermen.
You don't know.
Nice hair. That guy's having fun. Look how sassy he is.
Oh
yeah. I need to have a party in the water on your shirt. Before I very rudely, well, for the second time interrupt everyone, I guess because now's the first, but I have the Netherlands client, I have a call with them at 9, so I need to hop off at 8:55 to get all my screens ready and whatnot to share my lackluster warehouse layout. So when I hop off, I'm really sorry, and it's nothing against you, Kate, or your mer people / party mermen.
No problem.
That's thanks for letting us know. I would love to talk to you more about you bringing back memories from when I used to work at a horticulture company, and we were working with a company in the Netherlands who makes the planting machines for planting the plants. Anyway, so you brought back a lot of memories for me. Thank you. All right, Kate, I think I skipped this with the previous people, but maybe you just want to tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into the swimming questions.
Me as a swimmer or me as a non-swimmer?
You, however you identify yourself.
I live in San Francisco, and I'm a physical therapist, and I just had a baby. So my baby is 8 months old, and that has been pretty trippy, super great, but pretty crazy. What else? Let's see. That's good.
All right. Tell us what your favorite place to swim is.
You sent me these questions before, and it's funny because every answer was like a list, and I was like, oh, I have to distill this down a little bit. Lake Tahoe, but specifically the East Shore on the Nevada side, and then also DL Bliss are really pretty magical.
What was that one?
And I live right near China Beach, where I swim in San Francisco, so that's also a favorite.
Very cool. What about your like favorite event that you've participated in so far?
Yeah. Again, I was just gonna like list them all, but I think my most favorite event was we once did this swim around Lake Tahoe. So it was 6 days of swimming, and my parents used to have this like 1978 Suburban. So that was the one vehicle. And it was like, you know, the shag wagon, but not really a shag wagon because it didn't pick anybody up. Basically, you and your kayaker would get in the water. Well, you'd break down camp, you'd stuff everything in the Suburban. You and your kayaker would swim from point A to point B. Point B would be the next campsite. And one person who was just, you know, didn't want to kayak anymore. I don't think any of the swimmers drove. I think it was all kayakers would drive the car to the next point, and then we'd unpack, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, it was like 6 days around the lake. And then we also, just to streamline things, I think there was like 10 of us. We, you know, those things people eat, like those tents that people eat in so that flies don't get them. Do you know what I'm talking about? They're like
ones.
And we built one of those that was like crazy long, and we slept like 10 people in a row. It was pretty hysterical. It was like, I don't know, the Seven Dwarves or something just tall. So I was thinking that was probably my favorite event. It was, we just made it up.
Made it up.
Invited, was there 5 swimmers? Yeah, 5 swimmers, and you had to sort of bring a kayaker. And so it was, my parents were there, and my good friend Emily and her husband and her stepmom, and then some other swimmers. And then the other fun thing about it is that people could come and just join us at any spot that they wanted to. So my friend Tony came and swam with us one day at, I don't even remember, Meeks Bay. And then my friend Della just came and camped with us. And we also had a double kayak, so that was really fun. And when you're like going along in the lake and you're like, I don't really want to swim anymore, you just hop in the kayak and you can either paddle and really cover some ground, or the other person can get in and swim. So it was very, you know, like choose your own adventure kind of deal.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. So I love that. I'm like, I wish I would have, how long ago was this that you did this adventure?
Oh God. It was probably in like 2010. We did it again, maybe the next year or the year after, but it wasn't as good as the first year.
Interesting. It's just one of those.
Yeah. And then there was lightning, so then people had to like, you know, get to shore. So you have all these that are like standing in the rain on the shore waiting for the lightning to pass. That was only one day. Yeah. Oh, and then one of the nights when we were camping, the cops came looking for our neighbors. Lots of exciting stuff.
Yeah. That sounds amazing. It seems like almost an easier way to get around Lake Tahoe than driving, because I blew my mind when I was there last year for swimming across, just the traffic, like to get to like South Shore to start the swim. I was like, we have to leave like 3 hours early to drive 15 miles or whatever, 21 miles. Yeah, crazy. Oh, wow. That sounds pretty amazing. What about any, like an event, like if I wanted to go participate in it, like that exists? Is there any existing event? Right. I mean, I could make that up, I guess, with some friends, but.
And they're never easy, but I have really enjoyed them all. I mean, Catalina is incredible. So I basically started swimming 10 years ago and had no idea what I was doing. And this girl was like, hey, do you want to swim the Catalina Channel? And I said, okay. And I had no business doing it. I had no idea what it was. I had no idea you rented a boat. I'd never even swam any sort of distance like that. But I said yes. We, you know, paid the fee, put our application in, started training, and then I just did it. So that first year was like really cool. And it's funny looking back at things that I did. Like I was with, I'm drawing a blank on his name, but the guy that plays the bagpipes, Greg, help me out here. Any Catalina people? No? Okay. He has a big boat, and I had like 10 people on my boat. I had my parents, both my brothers, my boyfriend, his brother, bunch of swimmers, my best friend. So it was like party boat because I just had no idea. So that was really fun because I had no idea. The second time I did Catalina was really fun because it was really freaking hard. I did Lake Tahoe, and that it's also way, way hard, and totally underestimated and I knew it was going to be hard, but I don't think it gets enough credit for how hard it is because it's high elevation and it's not salt water. And that one was really special because it was, someone I knew was the pilot, and it was a fundraising event for my brother. But so, yeah, I don't know that I can say that I have a favorite event. And what's really fun, because you're like going to this crazy place you never thought you would go. But I can't say it was my favorite swimming. What else? Tahoe's great, but it's hard.
Yeah, it's local
It's
for you.
hard. There's accessibility issues, but I guess that's true about everywhere.
Yeah, very cool. That's awesome. What about, are you a process or an outcome person?
I wonder if I don't really know the answer to that, if that gives the answer.
You don't know the answer.
Yeah, no, I don't. I definitely enjoy the process, but I definitely
the
want
training
the
process.
outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the answer.
Well,
Maybe I'm a knife even split because I just won't take no for an answer, but I do enjoy, or like not succeeding as a possibility. I that's like not an option, but I do enjoy the process. So I don't know.
The training
Yeah. I have to think about that one.
I think it's just an interesting discussion point. It's something I've been thinking about a lot, especially since having kids, because I've kind of been able to shift to more like the outcome driven, and like just because of training time is limited. So I like creating the process of training, but I think you can do. But I think that being outcome driven, you can get where you can get there, maybe with a different process, but it's just different. I just think it's an interesting topic to talk about with people.
It really made me think, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm not sure." Ooh. Maybe I am. I was trying to think about it in terms of PT. Like, if you talk about a movement, you can do it 4 different ways, but there's really one ideal way for your body. Right? You can come up with these compensatory strategies to perform a task or an outcome, but you really shouldn't be doing it those 3 other ways if you want to stay healthy and well and utilize your body to its maximum. So yeah, maybe I am more outcome. Maybe.
Yeah. It's okay to be both. No judgment. It was interesting talking to Louise just because she was able to put in the context of like her English Channel Crossing, and I mean, I just think it brings up interesting stuff. That's why I mean, ask it as
one.
Yeah. What about how do you handle hard situations?
It seems like I get really calm, and I was trying to think about why and how that is, and I'm not totally sure. It's not like I can cite, oh, my parents really helped me train for that, or like something bad happened to me. I had a really nice childhood, and I have very nice parents, and I have very nice siblings. But an example I was thinking about was we went swimming at China Beach the other day, and generally, so China Beach is like this bay that's outside the gate. So it is the open ocean, but it does have a little bit of protection because it's the start of the San Francisco Bay. And we went the other day, probably months ago now because I was still pregnant, probably almost a year ago.
The other day.
In the morning, there's no one there. And we get there and the parking lot is full into the street. I'm like, what is going on? And we get there and the waves are just perfect. They're breaking and it's full of surfers. And we get down there and a person who is not a normal China Beach swimmer, normally a South End swimmer, which is much different because it's really protected in the bay, is there with me. And she's a little bit nervous. And we're like, okay, we'll figure this out. And a guy warned us that there was a rip along the beach, and we're like, nah, okay, like, sure, buddy. And we get in, and it was like a river in front of the beach. So we swim against the current, everything's good. And then we swim out a little bit, and it's totally slack. And then we want to come back in, but when we come back in, the beach is only this long. But we start coming in, and the current's so fast this way, by the time we're avoiding the breaking waves, we're already at this far in where there's rocks, and we're like having the waves crash on our head. And the first instinct is like, shit, this is not good. And I'm pregnant. And you don't really, well, my perception of being pregnant is you don't have any abs anymore. So you're not strong at all. Not to mention you have this huge thing that's like, creating all this drag. So I don't have any power to be swimming in these breaking waves. So I'm like, oh shit. So basically we swam out to sea, which is totally counterintuitive, right? We swam back out to sea where it was slack, crept up along again, and then tried again. And it was really fun. Afterwards, my friend showed our little, she had one of her fancy trackers on, showed our route. And it's just this crazy, like weird swim route. So thankfully, in that instance, my like shit moment was really small, and my very calm moment was very long. And ironically, it seems like I'm better able to be calm if someone else is freaked out. So she was freaked out. So I was like, okay, I figure this out for us. So
Yeah,
I think that's how it happens. Other people freak out, and
that's awesome. That's very cool. It probably is why you're able to success, probably knowing that about yourself. Maybe when I think about your Lake Tahoe adventures, maybe it's just you had the right group of friends or something. Like I'm like, why didn't I have fun adventures like that when I was I don't know, I guess I learned this too long ago.
The truth is, it's this one friend. Her name is Emily Evans, and you may know her. She is a really excellent swimmer, but she's an excellent athlete, but she's so humble, you just never know. She's the one that basically said, hey, you want to swim Catalina? And I had absolutely no business swimming it. And she is probably twice, if not 3 times faster than I am. And we trained together for an entire year for Catalina. And she would just swim zigzags, or she would swim out and back, or she would swim circles. So we'd stay together. And then when we did do things where we had our own kayakers, she would go off and, complete them in half the time. But all of this was like her brainchild, and I was just, what is that? Hooking my wagon to her star. She gets all credit.
It's good difference like that. Bye, Danielle. All right.
Yeah, I have to go to a Equilibria seminar.
Right.
By Lynn Kashmerick.
What does that mean?
Equilibria, it's they have it in sports and healthcare and business, and it's basically personality, knowing like what that within a group, everyone has a certain different ways of dealing with things, and different ways of communicating, and different ways of listening. And so it's called E-colors. Maybe you've heard of E-colors. Red, blue, yellow, green. Anyway, so she's doing a free seminar this morning, one at 9 East Coast and one at 2 East Coast. Anyway, I'm on the 9 East Coast, so I can do it while my kids are sleeping. But she's really great. She was an NC2A coach at Bucknell, one of the first female NC2A coaches. Cool. So if you can.
Interesting.
Yeah, Lynn Kashmerick. Anyway, I posted it to the SOS group. Are you in that, Kate?
Well, we'll get to that.
Yes, I am. I am. I'm just kind of a Luddite, and anyway.
Okay. Bye. Nice to meet you. Say hi to San Francisco Bay. I grew up in Berkeley.
Yay!
I love it. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye. All right, Kate, what about what's been the worst part of quarantine so far for you?
At the expense of sounding like an asshole, it's not that bad. Like I said, have an 8-month-old, so when having a new baby is kind of like sheltering in place. So it's the delta hasn't been very big. really similar to what we did do. The one thing that's kind of weird is no one really can watch the baby because no one can hold the baby. So Marcus and I haven't gotten to do a lot together, but we've been doing good, taking turns and stuff. I guess the biggest concern I have is how we come out of this. Because I think it's important as humans to be together and to touch each other and to socialize. And particularly for my line of work, I touch people all the time, and I'm in a small space with them and share equipment. And I'm just worried how we get out of this and how we have people still feel safe and okay to be together and participate in their communities in ways that they feel they need to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tricky time for sure. I think it was like first or second call that I was talking to Jocelyn. It was just probably the two of us, or maybe Tracy was there, and I was like, I miss hugging people, like the first thing I do when I see someone is like give them a big hug. And it's like really weird to think that if that became
Yeah,
would do
I
that.
was there, Shannon. That really afterwards, that was replaying in my head. Like, what if in this brave post-corona world we don't hug anymore, or we really think about it? That would be just. I guess we'll wait and see, but that would be a huge adjustment, wouldn't it? Yeah. I don't think elbow bumps convey quite the same thing.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
We've been watching probably more, shows and television than we should. And every time we watch something, like we're watching something in Germany, we were like, look, they're at a cafe. They're getting a coffee. Look, they're touching. Look, they're sitting together.
Yeah, seriously. That'll be interesting to see. But we just have 8 more minutes. We'll just ask a couple more of these questions. What motivates you to keep going, Kate? Whether quarantine or swimming, however you want to spin that, or as a mom, you tell me.
I feel crappy when I don't move, so that's a big thing. And swimming just became this thing that was the same as like you're eating and sleeping. This thing you needed to do. So what motivates me to keep going? I'm really grouchy when I don't. I feel better when I do.
Are you able to recognize that point though? I guess what I've found, I feel like parenting is pretty sedate. Like eventually, like especially when you get to 2, like it's one thing to overcome the inertia of just having like a baby, but like having someone to watch the baby so you can get out and move on or go to do something. But when you have 2, then it's like twice as much, like hard. Like twice as, yeah. But like to recognize that moment, like, oh, I'm getting grouchy, I should go do something. Like, are you able to recognize that, or are you just kind of like, it's just like, you just happens. You're like, I'm getting grouchy, go do it.
Oh no, I can definitely tell. And I thankfully we only have 1, and we do have 2 dogs. So even just like our baseline is we take 2 walks a day. So
it's good.
And I have a partner who is really good and recognizes that I have that need.
That's good.
And helps state that need. And thankfully, he also is swimming every day too. And then he realized I'm a better person when I swim every day too. So then he's very motivated to keep swimming. So it's been really super great. And I didn't push that at all. He like all of a sudden was like, I'm going to swim every day. And I was like, yeah, you should. Good idea.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. What is it? Do you have any ideas of future guests we could have on or a better name for virtual swim practice?
I was thinking 2 people. I was thinking Margot would be really fun because she's living on a boat, and you could talk about like how do you train in a very small space, and like what cool swimming are you doing up there in the San Juans. I thought she'd be a fun one. Yeah. And Rainey, I don't know if you know Rainey from the South End. She is so crazy social and a total extrovert, and I know she is having a hard time not swimming and being home. So she was also an early riser, so also another candidate. Margot might be a tough sell because she'd have to do this on her boat, and poor Elliot would get woken up, but maybe they'd be able to figure it out.
I can put it out. I can float it. I have next week covered. We're talking with Chris on Tuesday and Mark on Thursday. So that'll be fun. I'll come back. We still just have 5 minutes left, but I wanted, last time we like opened the floor a little bit at the end, and we're just kind of talking a little bit about how things were going. But I have to confess, like I told Chris I was going to upgrade right then because he got cut off right at the 40 minutes. I didn't upgrade yet. So if you want to open
This
it
is
up,
the time.
tell anybody
Yes.
to the people,
We'll
get cut off at
We might get cut off.
5 minutes. I do intend to upgrade eventually. I'm like, Zoom's doing good things. They deserve to be supported. The free service they offer is pretty amazing. I could pay them, but I haven't yet. So anything anybody wants to put out to the group in the last 4 minutes? Or is everyone afraid of getting cut off? All right. Well, I appreciate everybody coming. It was fun to talk to you more about swimming, Kate. I appreciate that.
I know nobody likes this shelter in place and you can't swim, but I actually, as a physical therapist and as someone that is often touting, like, do the stuff you don't want to do, it's actually a really great time to figure out how you can do the stuff you don't want to do at home with what you have to make you a better swimmer. So do your side planks, do your rotating planks, do all the stuff you hate.
You know, Kate, I hear you, and I keep thinking that it's getting the thinking to the doing part that's so hard on that. I'm like, I write down on paper these great workouts. I haven't done them yet.
Okay, so maybe this is my like momism tip.
Yeah.
I'm the same way, and it's like all or none. If I can't do this whole thing, I'm just not going to do it because it's a waste of time. And I basically flop that on his head, and it's like, if I can do like one exercise right here on the floor while she's crying, win. If I can do one thing while she's taking a nap, win. And another thing is, I don't know if you can see, but like, leave everything out. Leave the foam roller out. So you have to literally step over it. And when you step over it, you go just like, God damn it, I'll just foam roll, you know? And or tie it with things that you know you do. Like every time I go to the bathroom, after I've gone to the bathroom and now I'm calm and I don't have a full bladder, I'm going to do a pec stretch in the doorway or something like that. So then check, you've done that how many times in a day? So the piecemeal thing, like embracing that a lot more than I have to do this whole workout or it's not worth anything.
Yes, I support that 10,000%. And I've read a couple books and things that they talk about that, like to build a habit, to tie it to something that you're going to do anyway, like the pec stretch in the doorway. That's a good one. Or like there was one that's like, do push-ups before you flush the toilet or something like that, or after you, I don't know. I might get that one wrong.
You want to get them done really fast.
Yeah. I set reminders on my phone, but I've known to ignore them, like to do a plank. And I'll be like, I'll ignore that. And then I'm like, it takes like, I can only do it for a couple of minutes. Like, it's not like it's going to take something huge chunk out of my day, but I do ignore those sometimes. But that's good. That's good advice and recommendation to close on. Probably. Anything else from anybody before we call it a morning?
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
It's fun to have something tangible to do and look forward to.
You can come anytime. You don't have to be a guest to come.
Yeah, I don't always get enough sleep, so.
Yeah. You hear that? Yeah, I have these little people waking up. You want to say good morning to everybody? This is Rowan.
Good morning. Hey, Rowan.
Hi, Rowan.
Good morning.
All right.
Thanks for getting up early and coming, Kate.
Yeah, thank you. This was fun.
Yeah.
And asking fun questions about things I don't get to talk about much. Thanks.
Exactly. All right, you guys have a great day.
Oh, look, I have some guests. I have some guests too.
Oh, yay.
Bye.
Everybody brings special guests in the last minute.
Here you are.
All right.